Guten Abend, meine Damen und Herren, ich bin der Alex und willkommen bei meine Antworten zum die Frage bei FanFormula nach der Grand Prix von Bahrain. Und noch wieder ist der Finger zurück in Formel 1 bei Sebastian Vettel hergekommen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Alex and these are my answers to this week's FanFormula questions after the incident-packed Bahrain Grand Prix. And yes, as I have said in German, the finger is back in Formula 1, courtesy of Sebastian Vettel. Now for those who don't know, I do actually speak German, I also speak French, to a fairly decent standard, but I thought I'd do it in tribute of Sebastian Vettel, who this week won the Bahrain Grand Prix under a cloud of controversy, it seems, with everything that was going on outside of the Bahrain Sakir International Circuit. But, FanFormula announcement, guys and girls. I stumbled across a very interesting picture today. Now, if you look on the far right, there's a certain somebody that you might recognise wearing a beanie hat, and this picture was taken by me at the Red Bull home run in Milton Keynes after Red Bull did the double. So, answers on a postcard, please. Right, okay. I hope you enjoyed the picture. Grace has already put it on Facebook. I've done the same on Twitter. So, it's out there. I took a photo of Grace and I didn't even know her. How time flies. Right, on to the questions. The Force India incident with regards to pulling out of Free Practice 2. I respect the decision of the team. I think, when safety grounds are involved and it's human life, sometimes that takes priority over your work. Obviously, the way that the Formula 1 management team decided to deal with the incident was, well, obviously, let's not forget that Bernie can be quite hard-headed with his comments. Jean Todt more than likely puts a subterfuge over there. So I think the Formula 1, the FIA and FOM could have done things a little bit better. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, Force India weren't even given coverage because of what they've done. It was a no-no. Well, yeah, it's happened before in the past, but Paul di Resta only did one lap. He was in and out of the pits, and that was it. Enough to put him on P10, I think it was, or P9. So, what do I make of the controversy? Well, you're going to find controversy in whatever sport you go into. So, guys, it'll happen again. It's just not a matter of if, it's a matter of when it happens. And sorry, I'm using the finger again. Could have used another finger if it's in the rain. But enough of that. The two incidents involving Nico Hülkenberg. The Alonso one, he should have gotten away with a reprimand. It was a very minor incident. Obviously, Alonso vented his anger on Twitter, but not directly at Nico, but probably an indirect pop at the stewards. So obviously, it just goes to show if you're a double world champion, even you don't get your way, or a 7-time world championship championship winner Michael Schumacher, with your comments about Pirelli, shame on you. But yes, naughty Nico, smacked wrist for you. I hate to think what your dad thought when he saw those two manoeuvres. But I think really, if it was my decision being part of the stewards, I would have given Nico a fine. I would have given him a 5 grid, at least 5 grid place penalty, or 10. And then also probably points on his FIA super licence. It was uncalled for. The mirrors have been adjusted and made sure that so at least people can see a lot clearer than what they were doing last year. Obviously, Lewis was a case in point. And unfortunately, if Lewis had hit the wall, there could have been an absolute amount of carnage behind. Carbon fibre, cars hitting each other, rubber all over the place. Could have stopped the race as well. So, I think it was, Nico's gone from hero to villain in one manoeuvre. And he should have been penalised. But that's my honest opinion as a fan of the sport. What I write about it is something completely different. I have to be impartial. Yes, 4 different winners, 4 different races. I think with regards to, say for example, tyres, the grid is a lot closer this year with the exhaust blown diffuser. We all know that, but the teams are working round the clock to find different ways of regaining or gaining back that advantage, most notably Red Bull. I think we will see a variety of drivers and constructors. There's 2 constructors that I would love to see on the top step this season. We've already had Red Bull, we've already had McLaren. Hopefully Ferrari will get their act together this season, because there's a lot of work to do between now, the test in Mugello at the beginning of May, and then obviously 2 weeks later the Spanish Grand Prix at Catalonia. I think we will see a differentiation on constructors as well. So it's just really a case of seeing what happens, because you don't know how the teams are going to develop. McLaren could be quite strong in the mid-season development phase, as has been proven in many years. But it just remains to be seen who does the best developments when, where, how, why, all these other questions as well. So I'm sure we'll find out as the season goes along. Driver of the day. Well, I'm going to do something different. The Driver of the Day podium. So basically your top 3. In 3rd place, Sebastian. 2nd place, but not that far behind my choice, Michael Schumacher, for having such a sterling drive from, qualifying 17th, obviously having a problem with the DRS, and then having the 5th place grid penalty due to the gearbox change that the team decided to do, not Michael, so fair enough. But it was Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi showed flashes of brilliance and was really back to the old Kimi that I remember from the McLaren days, 2005, 2006. He had a great tenure at Ferrari as well. Let's not forget he won the 2007 World Championship by 1 point from Alonso and Hamilton, who were both competing for McLaren. Obviously, that was very sour grapes halfway through the season between them two, but there we go. Kimi has just shown that he has remained quick. He was competitive in the WRC from, obviously keeping his racecraft alive and well. And obviously with WRC, there's a completely different racecraft there. But I think in some ways that's sort of sharpened his skills. I think it's just basically, WRC is about the clock, is against the clock. Formula 1 is against the clock, but also you have 23 other cars to compete with. So it's survival, strongest cat in the yard. So that's really my conclusion to my answers this evening. So, vielen Dank, auf Wiedersehen, and bis nächste Woche. So in other words, thank you very much, goodbye, and until next week.